Again, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the CPE Family Engagement Community of Practice #2. We're so excited that you're here and grateful that you've taken time out of what I'm sure is a busy schedule to join us this morning. We are expecting a great time together of sharing, of connecting around our implementation plans and the kinds of things that we're doing to support family engagement in our communities, in our schools, in our neighborhoods, in our organizations. And we're also just really excited to explore more of the resources that we are finding to be helpful and supportive of our efforts. So this 90 minutes that we're together today is an opportunity to reconnect. It's an opportunity to continue to learn together, to share what's working, what we're learning, what we're adjusting, and how we're engaging with families. So welcome. Please use this time to support your efforts, to hear and listen to others, and to recognize the strength and passion that we all have together as we come around this very important work that we all have our hands to. So for those of you who had some time off, welcome back to the academic year. I'm sure things have started in full force here at Ames. We're certainly feeling that we are back at it, and September's here, and my goodness, things are moving and happening, and lots of really good work. So, but also we are noticing that the fall weather is here, starting to cool off a little bit, which we're lovely for. Which is lovely, and which we are just very grateful for. So today, as we get started, I just want to invite everyone to just connect in the chat here on Zoom and post a favorite cool weather activity. Now that we can go outside again in California. What is one of your favorite cool weather activities? Could be fall, could be, maybe even getting into winter. So I'm going to post this in our chat and let's see what it is. So share it out. Yes, these are so great. I love this prompt because it always makes me want to just like stop the meeting and, all right, everyone, I'm going on a walk. It's so wonderful. Taking walks, sunset walks, being outside in nature. Pumpkins. Michelle going to the zoo. Katie, the pumpkin patch time. Deborah, walks. Yes. And Daniel prefers a run. At least it's a long, slow run. That's good, Daniel. Taking walks in the redwoods, hiking. Claudia wearing a cozy sweater. Elin enjoys gardening. There are lots of holidays coming up. Halloween, fall leaves. Cooking soup. Jennifer, that's a great one. Sophie, we'll have to ask you a little bit more about apple cider donuts. That sounds really interesting and delicious. And Shannon's AI note taker. What do you enjoy? Oh, AI, I'll tell you, it's everywhere. AI enjoys taking walks as well, I'm sure. These are all wonderful. It's a New England specialty. All right, Sophie. Well, maybe when we're back together in person at some point, we'll shoulder tap you to share that specialty. We can each have 1/50th of an apple cider donut. Well, thanks everybody again for being here. It's great to have this time. I'll share a little bit more about what we have planned for today. We're going to hear from two of our colleagues, from Claudia Mesa and Michelle Holland, about their work at Exceptional Parents Unlimited here in the Fresno area and their family engagement efforts. So I'll be chatting with them and they'll be sharing some highlights. They've got some PowerPoint slides to share as well about their family engagement work, what they're learning, and what kinds of the kinds of goals that they have for their own family engagement. So we're really looking forward to hearing from them. After that, we'll have some breakout conversations around our family engagement efforts. So you'll be able to chat with colleagues. And for that portion, you'll be able to select a topic that you would like to talk more about, to share highlights about, or to learn more about, or gather some resources around. So the family engagement breakouts will give you a chance to choose a topic that you'd like to discuss further or that you'd like to share about. Following that, Naomi will be guiding us in a family engagement resources scavenger hunt, which promises to be loads of fun, as well as a wonderful way to dig more deeply into some of the resources that we have available through CPE, and give you a chance to pull some of those together into a very usable and shareable format. And then we'll conclude at the end with just a few updates. So we'll hear from our West Ed partners, and we'll conclude at 11:30. So just to kind of get us kicked off here, if you have not yet, if you would you just put your agency name in your Zoom name window, just so we are, again, familiar with where everyone's coming from. So you do that by hovering over your video, and then you click the little 3 dots in the right-hand corner, and you are able to rename yourself and just add your organization name to your name. That way we know where everyone's from. It can be helpful as we're having conversations going forward. So at this point, I'm going to welcome Claudia and Michelle. Claudia and Michelle are from Exceptional Parents Unlimited, and we'll be just chatting here a bit about their work, about their family engagement efforts, and some highlights from their work so far. So Claudia, Michelle, welcome. You can unmute yourselves and maybe just do a brief introduction for us.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Claudia Mesa. I'm the Senior Manager for our Early Intervention Program here at EPU.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I am the Site Supervisor for our Child Development Center here at EPU.
Well, wonderful. Thank you again to you both for agreeing to share today, for the opportunity to highlight your work. And so we'd just like to kind of kick it off by just asking you if you would just describe your family engagement work, and some of the highlights that you would like to share.
Of course, I will be sharing my screen. And so I can take on that question. So as far as when we thought about talking about our family engagement event, we thought what kind of road we laid out for our agency and our staff. So we're a community-based organization, so that, you know, it's not school-based, so math's not always the subject we talk about. So when thinking about how do we bring this into the work we're already doing, that's where we felt like we had to do some work and laid the groundwork. And so we really started with our installations. So we brought installations into our front lobby, which allowed staff and children and families to really start being more curious, more excited, more interested in, you know, hearing us talk about math. And me and Michelle worked really hard, like, how do we get our staff excited about it, you know? And so some staff would take breaks and they would go and play with the items that we had at the front lobby. We really worked with the front desk to support them. You know, they were a little worried, like, what if, you know, it gets crazy in the front, or what if, you know, things get lost, or what if, you know, so many what ifs. And we said, hey, how about we just try it? And then whatever doesn't work, we'll work on it and we'll improve it. So to say now that it's expected to stay indefinitely, and they are requesting certain ones that they want back out because the children really showed interest. So that was kind of the start of creating that. The next step was really our professional learning with our staff and thinking about who's included in this group. So we couldn't include everyone from our agency, but we included staff from different departments and different work that they do. So we had home visitors, we had child development center staff, early intervention staff, our neighborhood resource center. So we got some key staff to really bring that excitement back to their department. And I will say our fancy shirt we're wearing today really got the buzzword. Everyone wanted to know, what is this shirt about? Why don't I have a shirt like that? You know, so they wanted to know more. So just something to plug in, that creating that excitement was a big deal for us. And so the next step was then the family engagement event. So this engagement event really started with having also staff from each department. So, you know, we already created all this excitement built up to this event. So we had to give some details for anyone planning their event still. We started planning June 12th. Our event was August 9th. So we had a total of 9 meetings, each one being an hour to an hour and a half. We had 2 representatives from each department, so in case someone was out. And we had a total of 5 departments. In attendance was 111 families, 412 individuals. In total, 150 staff and volunteers helped with this event. We had community agencies that were also excited about STEAM and wanted to share their resources with the community. And so all of this work that it took to do this event really came from a lot of the resources that have been provided to us through this grant. So, you know, the Sink and Float was one activity that we had. And that, you know, we shared those handouts with families. We actually gave them supplies to take home so that they could try it at home. So if they didn't get an opportunity to slow down and do it there, they got the opportunity to take it home and do it at home. And then we just really made sure that each station was individualized to the children that came up to each activity, and that we provided that. You know, I really, when I joined this group to help support this event, I really talked about that we as staff need to model to parents, you know, how to engage with their child. You know, there is no wrong and right, that it's really a process. And so that was a conversation we had beforehand. Also, just encouraging staff to play and model themselves as well. So as you can see, some of our staff, you know, they're wearing those little ducky hats. Like, they were also just ready to bring that into families and share that excitement with them. And then I think the other piece that I wanted to highlight from this event is just those little interactions we had with families. That little guy right there with his little boat, he was so excited that day, and he really wanted to build this boat, and his brothers didn't want to interact, but they were watching him, and he was so excited, explaining how he's built a boat before, and the resources we had there for him to use, he was using all of them, and even asking if we had extra. And so he was really involved, but mom kind of was aside from just kind of observing. So staff were helping and supporting him. But I took the time to go and talk to mom and say, look what he's building. That's so exciting to see him be this excited about building a boat, mom. What do you think about that? And she shared that she's actually had bad experiences with her son in school, because he always wants to be playing with stuff. That's what she said. She just wants to play, and teachers don't let him. And he always gets in trouble. So when I said, well, I think he's an amazing kiddo, look at what he can build. And she said, I honestly don't get many positive feedback from my son. And so for her, she was really excited to see that, wow, like, this is a big deal that he was able to build this, and that we saw him in a positive light. So that was exciting. That was like the biggest highlight for me from that event.
Wow. Yeah, that's such a great example of shifting a narrative or a story, you know, that idea that, you know, play and curiosity are things to be avoided, or things that aren't supported in certain settings. And
Mhm.
the way that you were able to reframe that for a parent to say that's actually how so much wonderful learning takes place is through that play and that creativity and curiosity. And looks like all of these different ways that you and the team provided those opportunities were a very embodied way of demonstrating that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what, with this event and with some of the other work that you do, and what are some of your goals for family engagement, and how do you structure some of the activities that you're doing to really meet those goals?
I can take this one. Well, I think that little boy's face, him smiling so big with this big gigantic boat, that's a goal. So, that's a win. We want those positive experiences. Um, we just were, as we were planning, we just wanted to really convey that message of the importance of play, right? And we value it. We see the benefit, but just build that excitement and also kind of fill in the why. Why is it important? So in those little conversations with families, in home visits, at the front lobby, right when they're walking in the door, we're modeling it, we're demonstrating that for them. So, this whole lead up, this whole time that we've been working through this, I think we're getting there, right? And so there is excitement, there is a lot of understanding of the importance, not just from the staff, but also with the families. And, obviously the kids, they're ready for it, right? They're engaged. They want these materials. They do all sorts of interesting things with the materials that we would never even think about. And so I think having families also practice being playful. So at the Child Development Center, we did a smaller family event with just about 10 to 12 families, but we had them go to different stations and try different playful learnings. Now, the kids had already tried them out in the classroom, so the kids were kind of the experts. And then when the parents showed up, they were kind of hovering around and waiting and watching. And when we invited them, no, it's your turn. Put something in the wind tube, see what happens. It's your turn. Hey, we're going to do this activity with our food and see what things smell like. And we're going to talk about all these things. And we had posters and supports for them. And they loved it. They thought, oh, well, my kid's probably not going to stay and do this for very long. My kid has, kind of a short attention span. And then they were really surprised, like, wow, look at my child is such an expert at all of these things. And I'm learning from my child. And so I think it's those moments where we can kind of shift that in those individual conversations and times with our families. I think that's been really exciting. And then I think having this be agency-wide, department-wide, from the top down, everybody's been so supportive. I think that's made a big difference. Like how Claudia was mentioning with the exhibits up at the front, we didn't really have a lot of pushback. There was questions, wondering, what are you guys doing? You're changing things up. I wonder how this is going to go, but it wasn't like resistance, I guess. And so that's been nice that we've been allowed to try things out and, see what works and what doesn't. So I think, let's see, one more point I wanted to make is, I think something else about structuring the activities, and something we've been trying to highlight, is just to individualize, right? So this activity works this way with this kiddo maybe doesn't, want to do this activity this day, and to just really be in the moment, individualize it, and not have a lot of boundaries about the play. And so sometimes that feels a little different for families, and sometimes it's not comfortable, even for staff. And so just trying to really keep that mindset of individualizing it for that child, that moment, that day, I think has been another thing that we've tried to do. I don't know, Claudia, was there anything else you wanted to add about that?
No, I think just what you highlighted, but also one thing that was important is helping individuals understand the why we do the work we do, and also that they already are doing this work. It's just that it wasn't highlighted or they weren't aware of it. So now bringing that awareness.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting to hear the importance on playful learning, and I love, Michelle, the way describing the shifting of roles in a family where the children are now the experts and the parents might have something to learn from the children. And what a wonderful way to sort of reconsider, expertise in family relationship. And many times children lead the way in play and exploration. And so I'm curious a little bit more, if you could speak a little bit more about how you and EPU and in your work, how you view the role of playful learning in family relationships. Like, what do you see as the role of that, and what are you learning about that through your work?
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the supporting parents and building their capacity is very important, because at the end of the day, I always talk about when we go into your home, we're here for 1 hour, an hour and a half, but you're with your child the rest of the time. So the biggest impact you can make is by you having those tools and trying some of those strategies with your child, or playing with your child and explaining like things they could do at home, so that their child has the most opportunities. And so we go a lot with, you are your child's first teacher. So what we know about children is they learn through a relationship, having a nurturing and responsive relationship. So if you already have that with your child, why not build your capacity and help you support your child's learning. A lot of the work we do is also helping parents understand how important play is, and that when we're coming in, we're not just playing with your child. There's so much that goes into that play, and so a lot of the time we do find that we have to help parents understand just how to play. And so we have to reflect with them, how did they play when they were younger? How did they experience play and learning? So there's a lot of reflective work that goes into that, but I mean, we are in their homes every day. So that helps us have those opportunities to have those conversations with parents. But we do a lot of modeling. So, all the installations, the way we talk to our staff, the way we support our staff, we do model a lot of that, a lot of those activities, giving them opportunities to try things out. And I think the other piece we know about children is they thrive in routine. So we continue to say that it's so important that they know that they're already doing the work. They just have to have that understanding that, hey, this is math. What I do, this is going and doing laundry and counting out how many socks, like those is just simple things that you could do during your daily routine already, and include that opportunity for your child. And then the last piece is just thinking about how to individualize. And what we mean by that, it's really, if you have a thought that I'm going to work with this child on this activity, but that child is not there to have this finished product, then maybe the focus isn't the finished product. It's how to help this child even just be okay with the materials being present, or, wherever they're at, meeting them there and building on that capacity, providing those repetitive opportunities for them to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Um, Earlier, Michelle, you mentioned something about making sure that the activities and the installations, the experiences were really targeting children and individuals with various needs, that there would be sort of this individualized experience, or it's not, we understand it's not a one size fits all. It's that there should be many, many pathways and ways to experience an activity, a playful experience. So I wonder if you could speak a bit more to how you support families with children with disabilities in your work, and if you have any strategies that have worked well, and any recommendations that you might offer to the rest of us.
I think it kind of just goes sort of in line with like universal design for learning, right? So we want to set up this environment so that kids are successful, right? So if we're going to do play with flashlights, is there enough materials for everybody? Maybe we front load it, right? We read a book about it before we introduce the concept. Before we got the wind tube out in the Child Development Center, We read books about wind. What noise might it make? What might it be like? Let's see the actual contraption. And then we only tried it out with kids in small groups, right? So I don't want to overwhelm. Our group are little, right? They're toddlers. But I think this is kind of the same for lots of kids. Front loading, preparing them, and then introducing it in a safe way. When we did actually turn on the wind tube, they didn't have to engage. Some kids chose to leave. They didn't want to be around that noise. It was too much. It was too unpredictable. They took many, many, many times of seeing it before they trusted it, right? So I think same thing with our big event, you know, the staff had to kind of be prepared. And as much as we can do pre-planning and preparing, it helps to support the event and the families when they're engaging. So if we've practiced it, we've tried it, we've done a lot of pre-planning and talking about it, then we can support the families, the kids, to make that learning be successful, to be not overwhelming, and to be that individualized experience that we're trying to provide for the kids. So it's a lot of trying. If we went too fast, we slow down. If the kids are getting bored, we speed up. So it's sort of this dance that we do. Maybe we tried the activity and we had it all set up, and then maybe it wasn't accessible for all the kiddos. Maybe we need to move it to the floor. Okay, next time, let's try that. So I think we're always just learning from the kids. They show us what they need, and then we just have to be, I guess, open, you know, to adapting. So I think we're sort of doing that dance all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like there's much that goes into the, as you said, the pre-planning, the sort of making sure that there are many different ways to experience the activity. And then another point I think you made that's well taken is this idea of adaptation or adapting. And so being a little bit more flexible with the particular outcome or the way that we might expect someone to interact, but saying that if it's too loud or if it's too, there's too much going on, other options for children and for family members who may have certain sensitivities to light or to motion, or maybe have a variety of different ways that they feel more comfortable interacting with things that make a lot of noise or that sort of thing. So it just sounds like there's a lot of sensitivity, both in the planning, but then also in the actual implementation, where you're willing to adapt and adjust and be flexible with participants. I think that's good recommendation. Anything else on that you'd like to share? I just have one final question. Okay.
I was gonna say, actually, safety too. I think we had to get large hex bugs because we know our kids put everything in their mouth. Or even with the wind tube, we had to make sure it wasn't, little fingers can't get in there. So I think safety is also with our group probably at front of our minds too.
Yeah, important to remember. Yeah, for sure. So just, to wrap up, anything else that you're learning through this work that you would like to share with us? It's been wonderful to hear what you've shared so far, but is there anything else that you'd like to share? Any other insights or learnings?
I think one of the things that just stood out for us was just seeing, when we did our professional learning, we talked about mindsets. And so that was the biggest thing, where our room was a mix of those mindsets of like, I love math, and math, I have fond memories, and math is not good to me, and I don't like math. But being able to see that regardless of who you were at that training and in that room, that when we created those opportunities for play, curiosity, that they all were so excited. And so just seeing that if we create these opportunities, like that mindset can have that growth, right? And so that creating those opportunities is so powerful. And so that has been exciting, just receiving that feedback and seeing the results of all of our work and how it's playing out in our agency. That, originally we felt like, how are we going to do this? This is a little different than most other programs, but seeing how impactful it's been has been really exciting.
Yeah, I think the same. I think it's definitely built our community. So I think all of those steps that we've taken now, like Claudia was mentioning, we can't go back, right? This is expected. This is just a part of what we do now. People want to walk in the lobby and see something interesting. They want hands-on learning in our trainings. They're like, wow, I love this training. We just modeled it after, our trainings with you guys, that it wasn't just sitting all day. It was, it was active, it was engaging and thoughtful. And so I think that is just the new precedent now, that's the staff have shared that that's how they like to learn too. So it's exciting.
It is so exciting. Thank you so much, Claudia, Michelle, for sharing, for this incredible work that you're doing, and for the many ways that your learning and your implementation is supporting all of us as we think about doing similar kinds of events and activities. It's really important. You're making a huge difference. So thank you so much for this work, and thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
Well, we'd like to take some time now to move forward with a bit of a conversation for all of us. So at this point, you'll have an opportunity to hop into a breakout room, and the breakout rooms will be based on a variety of different topics. So we are going to have 6 different breakout rooms available for you to choose from. And in that breakout room, we're going to ask that you share your ideas, bright ideas you may have about things to do or challenges or opportunities, questions, plans, or insights. So this is really an open conversation for you to hop into a room and say, hey, I've got a question about creating math packs, or we created some math packs and here's what they look like. We'd love to just talk about it a bit more. Maybe you've got a question about interactive exhibit, a wind tube question, or a light and shadow question, or a sensing sand question, or maybe something that's gone well, or a community partnership event that you'd like to put on, or maybe you have questions about how to do that. So we're trying something a little new today by giving you just a free choice to hop into a room and take about the next 15 minutes or so to have a conversation around those things. There will be a facilitator in each room to just sort of help guide the conversation along, to tell jokes when it gets quiet. No, just kidding. But to really sort of guide and facilitate the conversation. So that's what we'll do next. If some of the rooms start to get too big, feel free to hop into a different room. But we're going to try this as a self-selection. So just in just a second here, Chris on our team is going to open up these rooms, and you'll all have a chance to select. So you'll have to be watching your screen and find a spot, find where those breakout rooms pop up, and then select your room that you'd like to go into based on these topics. So we'll open those up, and I would just encourage you, if you are able to turn on your video, if you are at a place where you can do that, and use this as a time to interact with others. Of course, if that's not possible, we understand that as well. But we hope that these are valuable conversations that we can all join in on. So we'll open these rooms up here in just a second. And then we'll encourage you to jump in and be prepared to dialogue, to share, and have a conversation. So we'll see you all back here after the breakouts and gain some insights we're able to share with colleagues around some of the family engagement efforts and ideas that you've been engaging in. At this point, I want to turn it over to Naomi Reilly, who will be guiding us in the next portion of our morning. So Naomi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Paul. It's great to see everyone here today. So we're going to do a little Count, Play, Explore scavenger hunt. So I am going to share some links in the chat and then just go over quickly what we're going to do. So everyone will be randomly assigned to a breakout room, and each breakout room will have one math topic. And so you'll see the math topics up here on this Padlet. This is where we'll all engage with what we find in our scavenger hunt. And so each breakout room has one of these topics assigned to it. And then underneath, that's where you'll click that button, the plus sign, and add your group's video and math pack ideas. And so the scavenger hunt is all about getting more comfortable with the Count, Play, Explore website. So I'm going to go to Count, Play, Explore and also send that link to you all. And so you'll be looking for one I'm Ready video, which are these videos on the home screen that covers your topic, your breakout group's topic. I created this little document. If you see my example row, I created this little document that outlines which videos have what math topics. We realized that there's not a way to sort the videos by topic, so I created a little document for you to reference. I suggest either downloading that or just opening that up on your screen in your team, finding maybe 1 to 3 videos for you to check out on the I'm Ready or on the Count, Play, Explore site, watch them with your team, and choose which one you want to showcase on the Padlet. Once you choose a video, you're going to add it to underneath your group's topic, and you're going to put a couple sentences of how you would actually use that video for family engagement. So whether it's showing it in a presentation or having it play somewhere, we want to get all those ideas of how you can use those. And then the second thing, or the second post, is going to be building a math pack out. So as we talked about at one of our last meetings, math packs include a book, the Discovering the Math book guide, and a related activity and materials to support families in completing that material or that activity at home. So you're going to look for a related book and activity through the books section. You can filter it by topic, and so you can insert your topic and then find the books that you're looking for. You'll find the book guide that you want to do, and then most of the activity, all the activities at least have one, or most of the books have at least one activity. So you'll pick an activity there and put that on your post, and then include what materials you would want to include in that math pack. And then there is an example of how you can kind of put that together on the Padlet. All right, let me share the Padlet link as well. Okay, so I added the Count, Play, Explore URL, and then also the Padlet link that you can engage in. So I would suggest opening both of those up so you can get prepared for your breakout rooms. Is there any questions before we break off? So you're going to find an I'm Ready video that features your group's topic, and then you're going to build out a math pack that includes resources that uplift your group's topic. Oh, and I should probably, oh yeah, and the topics are going to be on the top, or your breakout room is going to be named your group's topic. Okay.
So just to confirm, we're going to have groups in a scavenger hunt, and each group needs to find 2 things. One, they need to find the I'm Ready video and post that. And then the second thing they need to do is create a math pack.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to get us get our breakout groups ready here. And Naomi, I can't remember if we decided, we're just going to kind of randomly put people into different groups, right?
Yes,
all right,
randomly put people.
Okay, so you won't necessarily be able to choose your topic, but when you get to that, when you get to that topic or get to that breakout room, you should see the title of that in yours. So the titles or the topics, I'll share those with you all real quick here. Let's see. So our topics will be geometry, shapes, counting, sorting, patterns, measurement, and growth mindset. So when you get to your group, you will be focusing on finding those 2 items to add to the Padlet for your topic. Welcome back, everyone. Just taking a look at the Padlet, it looks like there is a wealth of great resources that you were able to explore and that you scavenged well. Naomi, any final thoughts or comments about the hunt?
No, this looks great. Thank you all for participating. This Padlet will be available for you all to use after today. And so if you have any other ideas, feel free to add more to it. But I'm really excited. If you ever have any questions about navigating the site, feel free to reach out too.
Wonderful. Thank you, Naomi, for organizing a fun activity that enabled us to explore resources more deeply today. I want to turn it over to our colleagues at West Ed for some updates and announcements as well.
Excellent. So I think that's me. Hi, everyone. It was great to talk with some of you in breakout rooms and to do the scavenger hunt with you all. I just wanted to have put out a quick announcement. We're continuing to ask all of you to fill out the implementation logs. So many of you are familiar with filling them out in the earlier part of this initiative, but we're asking you all to continue filling them out with any, related to any event or activity that you're putting out related to the family and community engagement part of the initiative. So if you've put out an exhibit or organized a family math night, or maybe you've done something at a library, we would love to hear about it. So I have been emailing you those already, or at least one person within each agency about that. So just look out for my emails. They'll be from Count, Play, Explore. And if you have any questions about filling them out, of course, feel free to reach out as well.
Thank you, Sophie. Just a couple final announcements for everyone before we conclude today. We'd like to just remind everybody about the next COP that we have on the calendar will be December 4th at 10 a.m. So we look forward to seeing you all and your colleagues here. Back here in December, we'll be wrapping up the family engagement extension during that COP. And so it will be a wonderful opportunity to share some more about the efforts that you've put in place, the family math nights, the exhibits, the math packs, all of the ways that you've used family engagement to support learning in your organization and in your communities. So we're looking forward to that. So more information to come on how you can prepare for that and ways that we'll be inviting you all to be sharing out during that next COP. So that's definitely something you won't want to miss. In addition, if there is any other support that we can provide to you as you are implementing family engagement efforts, please feel free to sign up for coaching. There's a link here that you can use to sign up for a coaching spot with an Ames coach. And we would love to hear how things are going, to celebrate successes with you, to troubleshoot challenges, to think together about how your work is going, and to provide some support. As much as we can, we know that that these additional opportunities for support and collaboration are really important. So as much as we can, we want to offer those, and we encourage you to take advantage of that as well. With that, I'd like to just say a big thank you to all of you. We ended a little bit early today, so you have a few minutes to go and do that wonderful cool weather activity that you love to do. Sophie, I don't know if it's enough time to make an apple cider donut, but it's a great time to take a little walk or to get out and enjoy the beautiful fall season that is upon us. So thank you all so much for joining today. And we look forward to seeing you when we see you next.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.